Okay, let's get into one of the most famous and honestly one of the wildest stories from ancient Greece, the myth of the Minotaur.
It's way more than just a monster story, though. It's about power, politics, and some pretty brilliant problem solving.
And a big mistake at the end. But first, let's set the scene. We have to start with the island of Crete.
Right, which is this huge, wealthy powerhouse in the Mediterranean. It was ruled by the very powerful and very feared King Minos.
He had this massive navy, he controlled all the trade routes, he was a big deal. And he lived in this incredible place, the Palace of Knossos.
And what's so cool is that this part isn't just a myth. Archaeologists have actually dug up Knossos, and there really was a gigantic, complex palace there.
So the foundation of the story is, grounded in a real place.
Exactly. But even this super powerful king had a huge secret, a really shameful one.
His wife, the queen, had a child that was, well, not entirely human,
No, it was a monster, half man, half bull. They named it the Minotaur.
which literally just means Minos bull.
Yep. And this creature wasn't just strange looking, it was violent, it was dangerous, and it ate human flesh.
So for a king like Minos, this is a total disaster for his reputation. You can't have your subjects knowing you're hiding this sort of chaotic curse in your own family.
Your authority would just crumble, so he had to hide it. And for that, he needed help.
He calls in the most famous inventor and architect of the ancient world, a guy named Daedalus.
A true genius. And Minos gives him a job. Build me an inescapable prison, a place to hide the Minotaur forever.
So what Daedalus comes up with is just legendary. It's not just a cage or a dungeon.
No, it's the Labyrinth, a massive, confusing maze built deep, deep underneath the palace.
Think winding paths, high walls, dead ends that all look exactly the same. It was designed to completely break your sense of direction.
It was so brilliantly confusing that the story says even Daedalus himself almost got lost trying to get out after he finished building it.
So the plan was simple. Stick the Minotaur in the center, and anyone sent inside would be lost forever and eventually.
Become food was a perfect trap.
And this hidden monster needed to be fed. Which brings us to the really terrible part of this story.
It does. This is where the city of Athens comes in. They had recently lost a war against King Minos in Crete.
And as punishment, Minos demanded a tribute. A truly horrible one.
Every 9 years, Athens had to send 14 of its young people, 7 young men and 7 young women, teenagers.
And they were put on a ship that sailed with black sails.
A symbol of death. Everyone knew it was a one-way trip.
Because they weren't being sent as workers or hostages. They were sent to be pushed one by one into the labyrinth.
It was the ultimate show of dominance from Minos, forcing your enemy to sacrifice their own children to feed your secret shame.
You can just imagine the grief in Athens. The king there, King Aegeus, was heartbroken.
But you can't have a Greek myth without a hero, right?
Right. And here he is. The king's own son, Prince Theseus, steps up. He volunteers to go as one of the 7 young men.
He's not planning on being a victim, though. His goal is to kill the Minotaur and end this tribute for good.
But before he leaves, he makes a really important promise to his father.
A crucial promise. He knows his dad will be watching from the cliff, just waiting.
So he says, "Father, if I succeed, if I kill the monster, I will change the ship's black sails to white ones on the way home."
That way, King Aegeus would see the white sails on the horizon and know the good news immediately, that his son was alive.
So the stakes are set. Theseus and the other Athenians arrive in Crete at the Palace of Knossos. Everyone assumes they're doomed.
But someone is watching them, King Minos' daughter, Princess Ariadne.
And she sees Theseus, and she's immediately struck by how brave he is. She falls in love with him.
But she's also smart. She knows that even if he manages to kill the Minotaur, he'll still die in the labyrinth, he'll starve, or just wander in the dark forever.
So she makes a huge decision. She decides to betray her father to save Theseus.
A massive risk. She meets him in secret, right before he's supposed to go into the maze.
And she gives him 2 things. 2 gifts.
The first is pretty obvious. A sharp sword. You need that to fight a monster.
But the second gift is the real key. It's so simple, but it's genius.
It's a ball of golden thread.
Her plan was brilliant. She tells him, tie one end of this thread to the entrance door. As you go deeper into the maze, let it unwind behind you.
So when the fight is over, all he has to do is turn around and follow the thread back out.
It's the perfect solution. It shows that you need more than just strength to be a hero. You need cleverness. The sword is for the monster, but the thread is for the maze.
Exactly. The labyrinth was designed to trick the mind, and the thread is a way to outthink it.
So the moment comes. The huge stone doors to the labyrinth grind open.
Theseus doesn't hesitate. He ties the golden thread to the door, just like Ariadne said.
He tells the other 13 Athenians to wait there, near the entrance. He's going in alone.
And he just starts walking into the cold, dark, twisting corridors. The only sound is the thread unspooling behind him.
Until he starts to hear something else. A heavy breathing sound. Getting closer.
He finds the Minotaur in a big chamber at the center of the maze. The monster roars and it charges.
And it's a brutal fight. The Minotaur is incredibly strong, huge horns, just pure rage.
But Theseus is quick, and he has that sword Ariadne gave him. He waits for an opening, and finally he strikes the final blow.
The monster is dead. The tribute is over.
But he can't celebrate yet. He has to get out.
He finds the thread and just starts winding it back up, following it through all the identical-looking tunnels.
The maze's power is broken. He gets back to the entrance, finds the others, and they are just overjoyed.
They move silently, get past the guards, and race to the harbor.
Ariadne is there waiting for them. They all jump on the ship, and they sail away from Crete, free.
And this should be the happy ending. The perfect victory. But it's not.
No, because this is a Greek tragedy, and in the excitement of the escape,
In the chaos and the joy of being alive, Theseus forgets something.
one single crucial detail.
He forgets to change the sails.
He just forgets. So the ship is sailing home to Athens with the same black sails it left with.
And back home, his father, King Aegeus, is on that cliff. Every day, just watching the sea.
And then he sees a ship on the horizon, his son's ship.
But all he can see are the black sails. The sails of mourning.
And he immediately thinks the worst, that Theseus failed, that his son is dead.
The grief just completely overwhelms him, and he throws himself from the cliff into the sea below.
So Theseus returns a hero, having saved his city, but he arrives to find out he's accidentally killed his own father.
A total tragedy, born from a single moment of forgetfulness.
And that tragic moment is why we still remember his father's name. The sea where he fell is still called the Aegean Sea.
Wow. So Theseus becomes the new king of Athens, and he's a great king.
Yeah.
But that story, that shadow hangs over him.
It's a powerful lesson. Courage isn't enough. Cleverness isn't enough. You also have to remember your promises.
What's so amazing is how the idea of the labyrinth itself has lasted. We still use that word today, for any really complicated problem.
That's a great point. And the story tells us something about solving those problems. It wasn't the sword that got him out. It was the thread.
It's that simple connecting line of logic that can guide you through the most confusing mess.
Exactly. Sometimes the simplest tool is the one that saves you.
A brilliant way to think about it. See you next time. Good luck with your studies.